Well, hello again. Welcome back to Twin Stick Garage. So, as Johnny Cash would say,
looks like we'll be blessed with a little more rain.
Yeah, I mean, just unfortunately, it has been just pouring here. And it's unfortunate because I've only got a couple weeks to the Let's Go Truck Show, and I still got to get that ThermoKing Reefer shell mounted on the front of the trailer. And my friend Dawn Gratz had offered to bring her forklift by, but I mean, it's just a muddy mess here. I don't know. I mean, it would sure be nice to get it on there, but we'll see. Maybe tomorrow if the sun comes out, this won't be such a muddy mess, but I'm not holding my breath. So I still got to do that. But I tell you what, I'm glad I gave her all the way there a few weeks ago. You know, as I say, make hay while the sun's shining. And I got all the painting completed and ready for the wrap. Now there's still a few more things that I need to do. I got to finish up the brakes, do some lights, do some wiring. But I did get a special delivery today. So do you know what that is? That is a 43-foot stagecoach sticker. Yeah. As tempting as it is to open up, I'm like a little kid at Christmas. I just, hands off till Christmas morning. I don't want to, as much as I want to open it and take a look, I don't want to actually screw any of the wraps up. So this is a 3M wrap. It comes in 52-inch wide sections, and I believe there's 8 or 9 of them, 8.5 sheets for each side of the trailer. And the way it's going to work is my wrapper, Tony, is going to come out, and he's going to peel them out of there one at a time and hang the first section there, and then get it perfectly straight and square, and then press it over all the bumps and the rivets. And then he grabs the second one and the third one and just keeps moving his way around the trailer. So I don't want to actually mess anything up, so I'm going to leave that in there until he gets here, hopefully next week, weather permitting, to start putting that wrap on there. So that's coming in a future episode, and it's definitely something to look forward to. But I thought what I might do today is, well, I should probably dig this reefer shell out of here. So probably about, 4 or 5 episodes ago, I was working on getting this painted. Now, of course, it's all quite dusty, but I'm pretty pleased with the way that turned out. And what I might do is dig this out of here, wheel it around, and get it ready just in case Dawn brings her forklift by and we actually go ahead and tackle putting that on the front of the trailer. Now, I was smart enough to make a template out of plywood here. So all the holes kind of pre-drilled. And so what I was thinking is run a straight line through that and then figure out what height I want to mount it on the front of the trailer, and then mark a line, or maybe use tape because I got that nice paint on the front now, and then set that up and then drill those 6 holes. If it finally stops raining, I could probably do that. Actually, let's go. Why not? Let's go look inside the trailer and see how that, I gotta grab a light. All right, let's open this up here. Oh yeah, all the spots that I didn't get when I was painting. Well, I suppose, yeah, and the back side of the bars too. Well, I'm still debating on the back side of this. Yeah, when I really gave her that night, I didn't actually think of the other sides. But what I could do, if I really want to, is take these bars off of here this winter, paint them silver, and then bolt them back on there. And theoretically, I should just have the 2 inner ones, and the 2 outer ones I could just take off. So anyway, problem for another day. So I thought what I might do, give us some light in here, was put my Blue Eddy battery pack up there. This thing is sure come in handy to have power when I need it. And I'm actually going to be using it at the truck show to put the movie on the side of the trailer. There, perfect. AC power on. Oh, nice and bright. Okay, there. That lights up the trailer a little better. Just hear the rain coming down. It's interesting, a lot of folks were commenting that I should turn the inside of this into an RV for truck shows. And I thought, well, that's not a bad idea, but it'd be kind of neat to, I was thinking actually turn it into a bar, because I already have a camper, so make this into something else. I mean, how cool would that be? I could set up a bar at the end there and couches along the side, maybe a whole bunch of Smokey and the Bandit paraphernalia, have a little TV going with the movie on a continuous loop. I think that would be pretty sweet. And then a keg of Coors beer with that Coors tap handle. Project for another day. But yeah, so getting back to the project at hand. Oh yeah, I forgot this. Trailer had skylights. And actually, what we got going on here? Looks like they're leaking a little. Yeah, they both are. Oh well. I guess that's I'm gonna have to get up there and fix that. But anyway, getting back to putting the reefer shell on the front there. So Dawn was mentioning, she said, well, it's probably not going to be strong enough. Obviously not the thin aluminum wall at the front. I mean, there's a sheet of plywood in behind. But she was thinking we'll get ceiling to floor angle iron and then drill those 3 holes through each of those. And that would act as kind of a fish plate to hold that on the front there, so the reefer, when I'm going over bumps, doesn't actually rip right out of there and fall off the front. And then thinking about it further, I suppose I could even work in here outside of the rain and figure out, as long as I got that plywood template, I could set that on the floor or just raise it up. I could even screw it in once I get it straight, and it would sit there, and then I could just drill the 6 holes from the inside. Yeah, that would work, wouldn't it? Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'll have to double check the distance from the top, but I'll have to go take another look at the movie and figure out how high up I want it. But then, like I was saying, I could really take a lot of measurements and get those lined out perfectly. Just screw this to the plywood and then drill the holes from the inside here. I think that's actually going to work quite well. Sometimes I'm smarter than I look. All right, so the rain's finally stopped, so let's figure out a way to get this reefer onto the trailer. You don't need to worry about mud. Now, I know this isn't movie correct, but as I mentioned when I redid this reefer shell, this is just too nice of a piece to just sandblast and paint. So I'm gonna leave it chrome. I think it's gonna look pretty sharp up there. I suppose someone mentioned that if I don't like that and it just stands out too much, I probably could get it wrapped, or maybe just have the grill part wrapped and then just leave the chrome surround. But I'll worry about that another day. For now, I just want to get this thing onto the trailer. All right. Ow. Like I say, didn't turn out too bad. So we'll leave the doors off for now. Oh yeah, there's all the gauges. I guess while I'm waiting for Dawn to show up, I could put that stuff back in. All right, well, let's wheel it around to an area where I can work on it. Okay, this is getting to be the exciting part of this build, because once the reefer gets on there, and then when Tony gets here and starts working on the wrap, I mean, this is instantly going to be turned into a snowman trailer. And with the show only a few short weeks away, it's probably good that I'm getting this close at this point in the game. So obviously this thing's not functional. The APU unit's was seized, and I cut everything out of here just to make it a little bit lighter. And as I mentioned in previous episodes, the reefer shells on the 2 trailers that were used in the movie, those were fake as well, because you saw that there was no fuel tank to drive the APU underneath, so they just took dry vans and converted them, kind of in the spirit of what I'm doing here as well. So I think this guy just goes in like so. And is it just a half turn to lock that into place? Yeah, appears that way. So that'll be an easy install. And then, oh yeah, I gotta mount these for the door. These will be the brackets that go probably like that. And bolt those on, that way I can mount the doors in the front. And there was a real minty fan that saw me working on this Reefer a bunch of episodes ago. And he said, I've actually got an extra gauge for it. So I'm gonna mount that. Where's that gonna go? Something like that. And then I got a couple more little gauges that I took out of here when I was redoing this. Oil pressure. So I think I've only got 2. So I still got 2 more spots. So if anyone's got an old ThermoKing Reefer out there and you're not using the gauges, please reach out to me at twinstickgarage@gmail.com, because I do need a couple more to fill in these final few holes. It was a good idea. So I had this extra gauge panel that I got off Carmen a couple years ago when I got all those extra truck parts. And so I thought I'd steal a few gauges out of it. And I got lucky because the pyrometer one actually fit in there. But what's so weird is the other ones don't. So I stole a fuel gauge out of there, but it's just a little too big. So I tried to push it in there and I actually chipped the paint, so that wasn't too smart. And then same thing, I got a water temp gauge that I thought would go in there, but it's just a touch big. So I would have thought gauges were kind of standard dimensions, but ThermoKing must have kind of went out on their own. So I'm looking for, I think this is a 2-inch, and that's a 2.5-inch ThermoKing gauge. So again, if you got one out there, hit me up and we'll make a deal on it. Okay, so that's that. Now I need to put on the brackets for the doors, and I think we're ready to lift this thing into place. Well, of course, I still need to go in there and drill the holes, but I think I'm going to wait till Dawn gets here to help me with that. All right, now for the door brackets. So they're different on each side, so the door can obviously swing out. These are the bolt holes where it mounts. So I just to make sure I get this right, I wanted to mock it up. Come on. Okay, so this door goes on this side, right? Yeah, that looks right. Something like that, and then the door would be closed. Okay, I guessed right. So I'll mount those on there, and I'll leave the doors off to mount this on the trailer, because I could always slide the doors on last, and that'll give access to get the bolts through. There we go. Doors are on. Nice. Okay, now I gotta take them off. Come on now. Try and open it from the inside. Ah, there we go. Up. Okay. Don't wreck your nice painted doors, Mark. There we go.
Oh, that came out awfully easy. All right, ready to mount. Oh, the ladder's gonna be mighty muddy by the end of today. Okay, so under Dawn's recommendations, she suggested I actually punch a hole through the plywood and the outer wall, and I'm glad I did, because I had just assumed that this was, I didn't know if it was single or double walled aluminum, but this is just thin 1/4 inch stuff. But what I didn't realize was there's actually a gap between the inside of this wall and the outside of the plywood. So I don't know if the trailer kind of rounds forward and they set the plywood back a bit, but there's a few inches gap in there. So when I measured this out, I got 3 1/4 inches just to get on the outside of the plywood. But then I got to add the thickness of where the bolts go through on the Reefer, which is quite stout as well. It's about 1 1/4 inches. So we're looking at 4 1/2 inches just to get to the edge of the plywood. And then Dawn's, whatever she's gonna bring over for, I don't know if it'll be aluminum or steel, for the fish plate or the support on the back end, we gotta go through that as well. So we need like a 6-7 inch bolt, and I had only bought 4-inch bolts. So we may have to run over and grab some longer bolts for that, but that's no big deal. So, and then I'll just leave a bolt in here. You won't see it anyway, the radiator will be in the way. And I'll put a nut on there and tighten that up. But I was also, last night I was checking out the movie and trying to get a sense of how high up or where the top of the Reefer shell should be. Now, an astute viewer will notice that there's gold edging that goes all the way around the front of the trailer and all the way around the side as well. So I need room for that. I may just put that just gold stripe on this top edge. But then the Reefer looks like it's pretty high. The top of it you can barely see, so maybe I'm thinking, I don't know, 6-7 inches down from that lip, which would be there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a piece of tape, top and bottom, to try and get a sense of where the Reefer will sit, because of course I want to make sure I still clear that as well. So I'll take a few measurements here and lay it out and figure out how high up I want that to be. All right, so it's 66 high by 46 across. So it's the bolt, which is actually good because the bolt holes are gonna be right in between these 2 rows of rivets and these 2. So the bolt holes will all be in there. So that's good. And now 66 up. Is this thing gonna fit on here? That's 66. Holy cow, it might need to be a little taller. All right, because of that, I'm gonna have to set this thing right at the top. I'm thinking about it. The Reefers in the movie didn't look like they came down that far. They weren't that big, which leads me to believe that maybe they weren't actual Reefer shells and they just welded up some metal boxes to look like Reefers and slap them on there on both of the movie trailers. But okay, that's good. It's just gonna fit, but essentially I'm gonna have to have the holes drilled damn near the top, but that'll be okay. It's still gonna look really good on there. All right, let's go on the inside and see how it looks in there. There's one hole. Let's see how it looks. Oh, not bad. Actually just chewed right through the rivet. Okay, 1 down, 5 to go.
When I drink brown liquor, I get crazy quicker than an old red fox on the run. I get tongue-tied and I lose my mind, and everything comes undone. It's hard to explain how it bends my brain when it's a swimming in my blood. When I drink brown liquor, I go crazy quicker than an old red fox on the run. Run, run. I can chug a lug on a big beer mug. I can win the blue ribbon every time. On rum and coke, I tell real good jokes, and I hardly ever cross that line. I can shoot tequila till all I feel is one big happy buzz. But if you see...
Just reaming out the holes a little bit. This old twin sticks didn't get them perfect, but pretty darn close.
A for effort, huh?
You made a lot of mistakes.
But for a first try, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Come on, Mark. Yeah, so this threaded rod's gonna work perfectly. It's longer than we need, so I can zip cut it off when we're done. But I guess we still need to put the bracing in as well. Yeah, that's good, Don. What that's popping in is there's a aluminum column there that's right against where the threads are. So it's snapping it past that. So I'm earning every thread here. Oh, that's gotta get close. Nope. Nope. That feels pretty tight. Well, that shouldn't fall off now. Sweet. Well, there you go. One reefer. Man, it sure changes the dimensions of the trailer, doesn't it? That is nice. So now Don's just inside tightening it, and it's popping over that little support on the inside there. So it's bouncing every thread. But yeah, this is gonna be slick. I'm so pleased with how well this is going on here. It's awesome. This thing is so cool. And what makes it even cooler is it still has a flapper. All right. Well, I guess next up, we better put the ThermoKing chrome deal on the front there. So I'll go grab that. I might need a couple of washers. I'll run down and grab them. How's it look from down there?
Amazing.
Pretty good. And there you go. One reefer installed. Now I know you're already typing the comment to say, well, the movie trailers didn't have a chrome grill. And yeah, I'm aware, I've seen the movie before. And I may do something with that. I mean, I like it for now. For now, I just want to get this truck to the show. But I love how it stands out. It's so cool, but it's almost a little too much. So maybe what I could do is get the thing wrapped, or maybe just the grill part, get that wrapped in black, and then it would kind of settle it down a little, or maybe just get the whole thing wrapped and just leave the ThermoKing letters in chrome. But anyway, that's going to be a project for another day. At least that is on there. And thanks again, Don. I couldn't have done that without you. That was a real nice thing you did to help out old Twin Sticks. I never would have been able to lift that darn thing up there. And now I'll show you the inside here as well. So we put these aluminum supports here. Don brought some tube aluminum over, or not really tube, square tubing. And we went top to bottom, so the floor is actually taking a little bit of the weight, and it won't actually, the floor and the ceiling are, so it's not just loaded up on the plywood. So that's in there now. I'll probably just zip cut these off of there so nobody gets skewered while they're in here. And yeah, that's officially on there. And I'll clean up my mess and get going on the rest of it. So Hope you enjoyed the episode. We're one step closer to getting this truck to the show. Hope to see you there September 16th at the Leduc. What is it? The Leduc. Come on, brain. Leduc Antique Society, just west of Leduc, Alberta. I think it's the weekend of September 16th. So yeah, with that, hope to see you next week. Still got to do a few more things. The next big episode is going to be the wrap on the outside of the walls here. So don't forget to tune in for that. So with that, I'll say farewell. See you next week. And don't ever forget, if you got it, a trucker brought it.